An hour north of Auckland, overlooking the Kaipara harbour and surrounded by dairy farms, is a young 59-acre nature reserve, Kew Haven. Less than 4 years ago, this was a disused dairy farm stripped of any vegetation. But today it nurtures young native bush thanks to the conservation efforts of Maruk and Tom Stasek.
One of the things that attracted me most about New Zealand was the vast open spaces and just loved the greenery. And that was the thing, is just when we came here and we fell in love with this particular property, and to think that in the future, if, after we passed away, if somebody subdivided this and built on it, just, you know, was not something that we would have wanted. And so that's why the idea of making it into a permanent nature reserve and having it for the community to enjoy.
The reserve is dotted with wetlands and streams, but these have suffered the effects of years of cattle runoff.
You know, the water quality wasn't really as good, and that's when we started looking into, okay, if we plant trees around it, how we can improve the water quality. And that's really how it got us started, and researching into, well, why just only plant trees around, you know, the river, because we've got streams running on the property. And we said, well, we can just do it for the whole property.
The couple started their new life in New Zealand 15 years ago, leaving behind careers in finance. And getting used to life on a boggy farm in rural New Zealand has been, well, an uphill climb.
The first thing is figuring out what we're doing, because we started out at the very bottom of the learning curve. If you want to restore bush to its original native form, you have to actually study what it was like before it was cut down. And we've had some help from a local ecologist who has analyzed the existing native bush and come up with a planting plan that will basically return it to its original form. The actual planting is the fun part, because you see yourself progressing, and then after that you have two big enemies, the weeds and the possums. And so we spend the winters planting and the summers doing weeding, both spraying and by hand. And then we have possum bait boxes set up around the property that we stock with poison to keep the possums under control.
With immense help from the Auckland Regional Council and the Department of Conservation, the Staseks have supported the planting of thousands of native trees by volunteers who pour in from communities and schools all around. But over the past 2 years, Kew Haven has also become a place of reflection for families. Today, a group of Indian migrants are here to plant kahikatias in memory of loved ones who recently passed away in India.
It will become a big pine tree, and as it grows older, this will be a couple of 100 years old.
They are Parsees, or Zoroastrians, a community that traces its origins to Persian refugees who came to India nearly 1,200 years ago.
So, you know, this is more going back to nature. It's more simple, it's more ritualistic, and it's, you know, very fulfilling for us, because it's like as if we're doing something special for him, and, you know, it's our way of remembering him. So it was just a lovely idea, and I think, you know, we all took to it, and this is very new. It's not something that we would normally kind of do, but now that, you know, we are aware that there is a facility like this, I think, you know, more and more people will come.
As Zoroastrians, we believe in the nature, the Mother Earth, and the sun, the moon, the wind, the land, the soil. It's all part of our, you know, our upbringing. From where we come is where we go back.
Maruk is Parsee herself and believes anyone, regardless of religion, can find peace and a sense of closure from memorial planting.
So I think this is just a wonderful opportunity for them, where they can plant the trees and maybe come back every year, say some prayers, and, you know, just a memorial, an ongoing memorial. It's not just a stone, but this is a living memorial. We would love more people to come out here and plant trees in memory of their loved ones, especially because the trees that they plant, they know are going to be protected.
A blanket agreement called the QE2 National Trust will ensure that the land and bush here will always be protected. It's all part of the Staseks' commitment to their adopted home, New Zealand.
So we think of ourselves as New Zealanders. So this is, you know, where we are living and where we will hope to continue to living. So why not, you know, keep it as a special place, that how we found it, and we want the future generations to enjoy it the same way.
This restoration and conservation effort will take time, but nourished by the sentiment behind these trees, it won't be long before this landscape is transformed into thriving bush.